You know, you saw a post asking a question, can these bones live? I'm in Miami, where I was born and raised. And I don't know if you've ever been away from home for a very long time, and you come back and you can't recognize it. It's jaw-dropping. It's different. When I think about my life, when I left here, I had a youth program. I was working with youth in Liberty City, where I was born in an abandoned building in Florida. And I teach people live a life of no regrets. One of the things that I regret that I didn't come back and do the training with kids that I was engaged in Liberty City after my training was interrupted by Lieutenant Reno, who was encouraged to cast aspersions on my character because they thought I would get funding that their program would not get in Coconut Grove. One of the reasons that we don't have the kind of training that's sustainable and impactful for our children. Those in leadership, one, they don't know that they don't know. Two, they fight and argue over who's going to get the money. And three, they also argue about who will get the credit. So I developed a strategy, my training program, that I would train people who volunteer. And the people in the community would be the people driving it. It would not be around a personality. Some things happen to you and you realize they happen for you. And as a result of that interruption, I turned down the offer of renewing my program. And I said, I'm going to go on the road. I'm going to travel around the world. And using the things that I was teaching these young people, apply those in my own life and demonstrate that they work. And after I earned my first million, which took me 3 years, I'll come back and do the program myself with no funds from the city. After I made my first million, I said, this is good. And I didn't look back. And I kept going because I went to various organizations, the NAACP, the Urban League, churches all over the country, and they're saying, well, we like your program, but you're not teaching young people about Jesus. I said, listen, you teach them about Jesus. I teach the message that Jesus taught. You sell the messenger. I sell his message. And if what you were doing was working so well, I wouldn't be here. But the truth of the matter, they weren't looking at how do we begin to create a self-development program that will give young people a positive image of themselves. They were vehemently opposed to that. They wanted me to teach young people Jesus will fix it. Jesus said, these things ye shall do, and greater things shall ye do. I'm 77 now. Can these bones live? A good friend drove me through Overtown and Liberty City. Nothing like when I came along. Can these bones live? question. Good question. Can these bones live? The powers that be ran an expressway through Overtown and Liberty City to disrupt the voting block and the businesses. We had our own theaters, own shops, own stores, everything. Expressway. They could have gone further east down the railroad track and built that expressway, but they deliberately wanted to interrupt that voting block and that economic power. Like Wall Street didn't just take place in Oklahoma. No. Take place all over the country to this day. Here's what I know at 77. The ones that control the wealth, which is 1%, they create barriers that help the rich get richer and the poor get poor. And the ones, people like myself, who break out in spite of, you gotta be hungry. That's what my new book entitled. You get it on Amazon. You got to be hungry. Racism ain't going nowhere. It's unfair world in which we live in. It's not fair that birds eat worms, and they do. What do you want to do with your life? We have an expiration date. I'm talking to the friend who's driving me, and she said one of the things that she looked at her life, she said her significant other, before he passed, was trying to prepare her, and she said she didn't want to hear. And one of the things she's going to speak about is pay attention. The reason that the 1%, after years, centuries of being empowered, and those numbers have not increased, because of ignorance and because of the 99% are divided by politics and religion. Ignorance, politics, and religion keeps us at each other's throats while they focus on the money, while they follow the money. The orange man, his children have made millions, and still are. The rich are getting richer now. The poor are getting poor because of how the system is structured. The culture that we live in now, a culture of violence. The cultures are created by people. A culture of violence and poverty created by people. And they can be changed by people. Can these bones live? Yes, absolutely. And the secret is to maintain commitment. Maintain commitment through all the frustrations, through all the disappointment and setbacks, to build a mental resolve, have a thirst for learning. You got to unlearn and relearn to increase your value and to create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Can these bones live? Well, you know, Quincy Jones is a prophet. He had a song years ago. He said, everything must change nothing stays the same. Johnny, how are you? I love you. That's my spiritual son, Johnny Wimber. From the Hood to Doing Good. That's a good book. That's relevant today. When 1 out of 4 African-American males have been incarcerated, have a criminal background, gone astray. From the Hood to Doing Good. And he's a young man that's brilliant, that is living a life of contribution and living a life of impact. One of my spiritual sons. This thing called life. We woke up this morning. We're still here. And that's a blessing. My goal is to teach you how to make the rest of your life the best of your life. I know a thing or two. I've been on the planet 77 years. I know a thing or two. And I know that everybody can't hear me. Everybody can't hear me. Only the few. He said the road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it, because few there be that's looking for it. Majority of people just want to survive, just want to be entertained, just want to go out and buy an artificial booty. It's a boobs, it's a fly swatters. And they are hooked up, they are satisfied. Oh, behave. Oh my God. You know what I've learned to do is just observe. Just watch. Watching people. It's fascinating. And you ask yourself, how can they live like that? Because that works for them. It might not work for you, but it works for them. And it's none of your business. It's none of my business. Mamie Brown, my adopted mother, said, "Oh Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business." Like this page and share it. I'm going to drop something on you right now. I want you to listen. Each day when you get up, I want you to declare, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you." I want you to say to yourself, "Lord, this is going to be the best day of my life." And then I want you to get still and say, "Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth thee." And then say, "Here's what I'm going to do today that will make it the best day of my life today. And here's what I'm going to learn today that I did not know yesterday." You got to be intentional. You got to write it down, focus on it, get a 3x5 card, and write what it is you want out of this day. Put on the flip side, Matthew 7:7, "Ask and it shall be given, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be open." Life is for living. Make it your business. Get serious about this thing called life.
I want to talk to you about, I want to get into some of your, some of the biggest things that made a difference for you in your life. But before I do that, I want to talk about, just for a moment and touch on what's going on in the world. What's going on in the world, how important it is for us to be communicating to each other respectfully and listening more than we throw our opinions around, trying to understand each other, trying to, whether it's Corona or what's going on with the police issue and racial issues here in the United States. I'm kind of the opinion, and I really want to hear your opinion more than mine, but I'll just tell you this. Our news today is very little news and it's lots of opinion. every show's an opinion show. And they bring on a panel, what's your opinions? And they bring on another panel, what's your opinions? And they bring on another panel, what's your opinions? And all the news is all opinions. Everybody's just throwing around opinions. And then social media, everybody's got their own little channel, and they're all throwing around their opinions. And everybody's looking for people whose opinions line up with the opinions that they have personally. And I'll speak for myself. I'm consciously trying to listen more than I'm trying to throw my opinions around. I'm trying to understand more than I'm trying to be understood. I'm trying to be aware of circumstances that I may have never experienced, but if I become aware and I listen more than I throw around my opinions, maybe I can learn something. And you and I talked about this earlier. I think change is going to come with our children and their children, and trying to educate people on how to live a good life and to be a good neighbor. So with that, Les, what's your opinion on everything that's going on?
The challenges that we are facing are created by people, and they can be changed by people. And the secret is to maintain commitment through all the frustrations, through all the disappointments, through all the setbacks that we will encounter in working to change the way in which we show up as human beings and how we interact with each other. And it's a part of the process. All transformation is what we're going through right now. It's major and it's been around, and so we can't become discouraged. 45 years ago, I was fired for editorializing on five policemen beating an African-American Vietnam veteran while he was holding his baby in a restaurant in Columbus, Ohio. It was called the Kayiki incident. And his wife, she became so enraged and just became like superhuman. And she defeated those policemen, 5. She must have weighed 125 pounds soaking wet. And they called for backup. And they handcuffed her arms behind her back and her legs, and they drove her down Broad Street and pulled off on Champion Avenue. And when they were having a change of shifts, they took turns going in and beating her in the back of the van. A guy named Tom Catron, he was a white patron that was there who happened to listen to my radio show and called me and told me about it, and then I talked about it on the air. And here we are again. Same issue, been going on for years. And we are not given the luxury of giving up, of becoming frustrated, or just being angry. Anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. Or just getting together and saying, oh, ain't it awful? And then after the emotions die down, let everything go back to where it was. It's created by people. We must be eternally and perpetually optimistic and know that it can be changed by people. Will it happen as soon as we want it to happen? No. It takes time. And we must not become frustrated or discouraged and keep our commitment to our commitment in creating a better world. All transformation that takes place on the planet, it takes time. And you must be steadfast and be like our good friend Og Mandino said, in The Greatest Salesman in the World. We must persist until we succeed.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what I think everybody would agree that the world should have a foundation of fairness. And in order to do that, we need accountability. In order to do that, there needs to be consequences for negative actions. In order to do that, we have to go back to caring about our neighbor, as much as we care about ourselves, and people who look different than us, and people who maybe have different beliefs than us. That's okay to be able to have those. It's okay. If everybody was exactly the same, the world would be a boring place. To celebrate our differences, to embrace each other, and to be able to move forward.
When I was as a result of my doing that editorial about that police brutality case, I was fired. But Helen Keller said that when one door closes, another door opens. But most of us spend so much time and energy talking about the closed door, we don't take advantage of the open door. And had that not happened, had I not been fired, I would have never became a state legislator and been able to pass legislation that will have a broader impact than being a radio personality, or becoming a talk show host, or becoming a motivational speaker and going around the world to influence people. And so I think that what's most important for us to realize, evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. Something happened in 2007. Time magazine said the computer is the person of the year. And a lot of people wondering, why did they say that? Well, when you look at what's going on right now, were it not for the computer and people getting in social media, we would not know about it. Because after the Rodney King beating and the riots that took place, television executives agreed not to ever show any riots or any kind of chaos that took place after law enforcement acted unprofessionally. So now here's an opening. Here's the reason why. Because when people when they saw a man begging for his life, begging for his mother who had been dead 2 years ago, that impacted people not just here, but around the world. Were it not for the internet, most people would not know about that. And so now this evil that has been going on for a long time, evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. Well, you can't act on something if you don't know about it. Well, this, as a result, there will be some broad scale transformation taking place and legislation that's going to be introduced and how law enforcement has been looked at. It takes 1,500 hours to become a barber. It takes 850 hours to become a policeman. And you have the opportunity to be a judge, jury, and executioner. You can take somebody's life. Even a doctor who goes to school for 12 years in some cases can't just take a life. But a policeman can take a life and say, oh, he had a threatening stance, or I thought he was reaching for a gun, or he was running and even though I shot him in the back, but I thought he was going to turn around and try and shoot me. So that's why I shot him in the back 4 times. Or the kid that was shot in Chicago 16 times, or the young lady, Brianna, that was shot 8 times while she was in bed in her home and the police came in. And no charges have been filed against those guys. And so, or the situation where a young African-American male was in his apartment, a white police officer, she went in his apartment and she said she made a mistake, but she killed him. And she said she thought he was in her apartment. They sentenced her to 9 years. An African-American male who killed a police dog, he was sentenced to 40 years. 40 years, okay? So when you think about all the things that's going on now, they will continue unless people of conscience become involved. Unless, I saw a sign that says, silence produces violence. A lady flew in from Australia for me to train her how to speak from her heart. I said, why did you come to me? She said, I saw you speaking in the Georgia Dome, and you gave a speech called It's Not Over Till You Win. And she said, I was struck on how you spoke from your heart in that big forum, and I felt it. She said, can you teach me how to do that? So I said, yes. And then I said, but what do you want to do with it? She said, I believe the world is hateful and divisive and violent, not because there are not enough people that care, but because too many people are silent. And so now what we see, and I think the internet contributes to it, and the coronavirus has contributed to it. Yeah, that people got a chance to think. And they said, you know what? This is wrong. And I'm going to become an active force in correcting this. There are white people who called me and said, I did not know. I had no idea. I believe there's good in the worst of us and bad in the best of us. And when you see the number of white people, and particularly young people, that's participating and to create a better world, that's heartwarming. That they're saying, no, this is wrong. No. That's a human being. That you had your knee on his neck with your hand in your pocket while he was begging for his life, and 3 of your comrades who were hired by taxpayers to serve and protect watched as he died. No, that's wrong. And we're going to speak out against that. And when something happens, as I was talking to you, 3 things happen. There's a perpetrator, there's the victim, and there are the witnesses. And the question was asked, what's the worst? And the answer is the witnesses, the people who stand by and watch and say nothing. Either one of those cops could have said, come on, man. It's 4 of us. He's handcuffed. He can't go anywhere. We got him. We don't have to kill him. It's a $20 counterfeit bill. Come on, man. Give him a break. It's a human being here. They didn't do that. They pushed a 75-year-old man down, 75-year-old white man, bleeding from his head. One of the cops, human instinct, wanted to pick him up. The guy that was leading the platoon said, no, keep walking. And then they lied. They said, well, he tripped. Well, fortunately, because of the computer, because of the cameras, it was captured, they lied. The only people that lie as much as Donald Trump are policemen. They got the record. I think that Donald Trump is number 2 to them. They've told more lies. And the reason that they're the worst liars, because people go to prison because of their lies. People go to death row because of their lies. People have their lives taken from them, and families are shattered and broken because of their lies. And so we have to ask ourselves, what did I do? Was I a witness while I was there on the planet? What role did I play? Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. In the middle of a surgery, it looks like a murder, but on the other end, there's a healing. This does not come to stay. It's come to pass. We will get through this. We will be stronger and better because of this, going into this process than when we came out. And just look at it. All at the same time, God is in the midst of this. I strongly believe, how are you going to have the coronavirus, the most disruptive experience with any disease that ever hit the planet in my lifetime? I'm 75. I've never seen anything like this. I'm in a room, as I told you, by myself, sneezed and ran out. And I said, wait a minute, that's my sneeze. And I still got some Lysol and started spraying around the house. Okay. So how does that happen? Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. George Floyd and the coronavirus at the same time, and people have to stay home, and they see it on the internet. Whoa, those things coming together. That's going to change how we see this moving into the future. It cannot be denied. It cannot be disputed. Those 8 minutes and 42 seconds jarred the world. People around the world, Berlin, Sweden, England, all around the world said no, that there's a human component here. Human beings said. Now we got some radicals that said, oh, it don't matter. But the majority of people said, this is undecent. This is indecent. No. I'm one of those people call me a one. I can't kill an animal. I could never shoot a deer. I mean, who would want to kill Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Who would want to do that? Let me tell you something. This has nothing to do with the subject. I had a duck, and his name was David. And I was about fourth grade. David the Duck. And my brother, he had no qualms in killing a duck or a chicken. He would pull their heads off. I couldn't do it. And I came home and we had dinner, and then later I went outside to feed David. So Wesley was laughing, my twin brother. I said, what are you laughing about? David! Hey, David! I'm just calling David, looking for it, right? He said, Leslie, you don't have to call David. I said, why? He's in your stomach.
No.
What do you mean? That's exactly what I said. No. Yeah. We cooked David. Oh my God. No, you didn't. Oh, you didn't cook David. Oh God. And he thought it was funny. Other brothers and sisters, they laughed. Man, I was sick for about 5 days. I ate David. That's cruel. Who does that?
Messed up.
There's some crazy people in this world.
Well,
They're crazy people. And when he was killed, I cried. And they said, it's just a dog. It wasn't just a dog. It was my dog, my friend.
Right.
Yeah.
People say things become important when they become personal. It's when somebody in your family, when somebody that you love, when somebody that you touch experiences something, then it becomes important. You and I talked about this earlier today when we were chatting, is my hope for the police department, because there's so many amazing police officers out there doing an incredible job to protect and serve, that there is more accountability for people who overstep, that there are consequences for people who overstep, and there are systemic, whether it's training, communication, everything else. But and I think we're headed towards that. At least I hope we're headed towards that.
I think so. My brother-in-law was a police officer for 30 years. Yeah. And Alex, he said to me, I said, Alex, why don't you guys tell on the bad guys? He said, Les, those guys I work with. This guy that we arrested, I see him get the hell beat out of him. He's a stranger. If I tell that I witnessed my partner beat this guy up and treated him inappropriately, if I get a jam and my life is on the line and I call for backup, guess what, Les? I said, what? They're not coming. They're not coming. And I can lose my life if I don't have the support. So one of the things that I propose is that they have a whistleblower, confidential whistleblower program where cops who are decent human beings can, if there are situations where they can tell without being exposed or found out, that they can do so confidentially without putting their lives on the line. So there's a reason for the blue shield, the silence, the cover up and look the other way. So I understand what's going on with that.
So I love to ask, right? So we have a big coaching program, marketing program, agency, and I never dreamt this would ever happen. But as we grew and grew and grew, we actually started hiring, more like accountability, mindset coaches, and even a lot of the work I do now is more talking about mindset, big picture. And my members laugh because I'll always preface it like I'm not a mindset coach, but I'm a marketer, but here, this is how I think. And I think because it's natural to me, I'm pretty good at it still. And we give these talks and we have these coaches. But one thing I noticed, just like say fitness, is people leave invigorated, motivated, inspired. And it may last a little, but then they drop back again. And then they kind of get in this hamster wheel of a bit of motivation, then they go back to their old ways. How does someone work through that if they're listening and they kind of feel they're in that position now?
Just think about your parents. They had a ritual.
Okay.
And they were consistent.
Yep.
They did it. And they didn't operate in implementing the ritual based upon how they felt. They did it based upon what they knew. That if they did it and did it and did it, that will continue to push themselves and to challenge themselves and take themselves to the next level. But if they got up in the morning and said, well, I don't feel like it today, that's going to cost them.
Yeah.
That kind of mindset, if you operate around your feelings, you will not become a gold medalist.
Well, I feel that's half the entrepreneurs. Some days they're in it, and some days they're questioning themselves.
So it's hard, then do it hard.
Yeah.
Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want would automatically take over.
Yeah.
So you live from do what you know, not what you feel. We never feel like doing the right thing.
I think
Never.
that's important for people to know, because I think they see people like me or like you, and I think they think we just like, life's great and it's easy and it's successful and we wake up every day.
No, life is hard. It's going to slap you around. It's a part of the price of knowing that life be lifing. Things are going to happen to you. Viktor Frankl, in his book called Man's Search for Meaning,
that's great.
and he said that adversity introduces a man to himself. Life is going to happen to you, to me, and the people that we care about. And it's continuous. It's an ongoing process.
So I think if you're listening, watching this, and you see the successful people, I think all you're seeing is they just are maybe moving through those problems and patterns more consistently and maybe handling them better than the people that aren't, and that's why they look successful, because everyone's I always say, you're always getting hit in the face, right?
Yes, right.
We just get back up or deal with it, and we're like a pro boxer that we're so used to being hit in the face now that we just keep boxing. Whereas when you're a normal person that doesn't fight, you get hit in the face, you get knocked on the floor, knocked out, and you go, you call the police and have to have a week off.
I have a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
I know that saying very well. It's a very famous
Absolutely.
saying. Yeah.
Willie Jolly, a young man that I trained as a motivational speaker, he said a setback is a setup for a comeback.
I like that.
We all have comeback power.
So back to the part about the routine part. So if you're listening to this, I kind of want to phrase it. So I teach the same with social media. I say, hey, the reason you're not successful on social media is you post for a week well, and then you take a week off, and you post for a week well, and then you take a week off, and it's the consistency thing, right? So you're almost saying even the mindset thing is building that ritual, building that routine, and it's like the gym. On the days that you don't want to go, that's probably the biggest calling that you should be going, and you've got to build that routine. Yeah.
L. Williams said something I like. He said, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do, in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Most people will not do the hard work. And life is hard. Most people won't challenge themselves. Most people won't push themselves. And so you have to have what I call a made-up mind. You've got to make the commitment. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts should be established. The difference between being involved in training, being involved in becoming a gold medalist, and commitment is next time you have bacon and eggs, look at it. The chicken was involved. The pig was committed. He had to give it all up. And so to be where you are now and where you're going, and the people that are watching us and embrace your philosophy, they're willing to give up being who they are. There's sacrifice that's involved in everything that you do. And you have to ask yourself the question, what am I willing to give up? As you look at the goals and dreams that you want to achieve, it's been taught to me that if a man is to gain his life, he must lose his life. You've got to be willing to lose who you've been to give birth to who you've chosen to become.
For folks that are here and watch this conversation that say, absolutely, I agree. I want better. I know I deserve better. But I've been in this position that I'm in here for a little while. How do I start this process? I see the vision on where I could be, but I'm here right now. What say you? What happens tomorrow? What's a practical thing that folks can do when they get up?
Is don't do what you just did. When you and your friend got together and you had a vision of manifesting this, you had no one to go and talk to and ask, how do we do it? This place, this concept did not exist. Our favorite book says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So you have to just make the commitment. Nothing happens until you make the commitment. Nothing works until you work. You put in the work for this to take place. And let's use work as an acronym. W, the willingness to do what's required. The willingness to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. The O stands for ownership mindset. You created a place, a space. Space is very important because God made a space for us before he made us. He didn't just make us and had us dangling in the air. We need a space that we can come to that allow us to create a community so that we can begin to take each other to a place in ourselves that we can't go by ourselves. That's what Mr. Washington did for me on that particular day. The R stands for reinvent yourself. That thinking that got you here won't serve us in this new environment. We're in this place where Peter Drucker said that we must be willing to unlearn, learn, and relearn so that we can navigate where we are right now. And the K stands for kindred spirits, that when you are around people that's going in the direction of where you are going, that what it does is it challenges you. It creates a synergy. It allows you to do things that you could not do by yourself because of the relationships that you're around that hold you accountable to a higher standard. I met a young man named Mike Williams, and I wish all of you write this down. He wrote a book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. And you look so much like the young Mike Williams. And he was my newsman. I was a disc jockey at WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio. He saw this Les Brown before I saw this Les Brown. He was my newsman. He said, Brownie. I said, yeah. He said, man, you can do more than be a disc jockey. It's very important for you to have someone, and this is the value of the gathering spot, a positive connection that will believe in you until your belief kicks in. And I said, come on, Mike. I couldn't imagine what he told me I could do. He said, man, you can change people's lives around the world. I said, are you kidding me? At that time, I was LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter plant popper. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. And so he saw this dude. And I'm thinking,
I would have seen him too.
I'm a disc jockey, man. And I said, what do you think I can do other than this? I thought, have you ever had somebody see something in you that you didn't see in yourself? Yeah. And he said, Les, I see you going to these seminars and these workshops. He said, I hear you quoting Malcolm and Dr. King all the time. He said, what's in them, it's also in you. I was Les Brown, the man about time.
town at that particular time. And I said, what you talk about, Willis? But he worked with me. We're still together to this day. And he helped me to begin to see what he saw. And it was a process.
When did you see it for yourself?
It was an ongoing process, but I think that the deciding moment was when I spoke in the Georgia Dome. There's a video that's on the internet. Millions of people have viewed it, called "It's Not Over Till You Win." And the guy that invited me, Dexter Yeager, he did not like me at all. He'd never had a black person on his stage as a motivational speaker. He had a choice of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. And he asked me, do you know why I asked you to come? I said, why? He said, because I need someone who can command this audience. I said, oh. And he said, I don't like you. And I didn't ask him why. I had to remember why I was there. And I just kept thinking, if he's chosen me to do this, I'm not interested in getting into an argument with this dude, okay? Mike Williams said, Brownie, keep the main thing the main thing. So he said, I don't like niggers. And as I was sitting there, Liberty City was about to come out. And I remember something that Mike told me. He said, anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. I decided not to get angry. And I didn't answer and I didn't respond. And I know he wanted a response from me. He said, but there's something about you. You speak from your heart. And I need someone to command this audience. And you don't speak from your head, you speak from your heart. And you've come from some hard times. And you are the one to do this job today. I said, thank you very much. And I was frightened. I thought they brought me there to speak to 500 people in a dining room area. And the guy said to me, you Les Brown? I said, yes. Man, what is it like to speak to 80,000 people? I said, I don't know. You don't know? I said, no. He said, come here a minute. So he took me, he said, look out there. You see those people there? I said, yes. He said, that's who you're speaking to. I said, to them? He said, yes, all white audience. I took off and started running down the hall. He said, where are you going? I said, to the bathroom, but it's number 1. So they called Mike and said, Les is in the bathroom and he won't come out, because I couldn't hear the voices in my head. And he said, Brownie, you're scared, aren't you? I said, yes. Brownie, can you hear me? I said, yes. I said, Mike, it's 80,000 people. I've never spoke to an audience that large before. He said, so what? They came to hear you. You didn't come to hear them. I said, Mike, oh my goodness, I can't hear the voices. He said, Brownie, just remember these words: distract, dispute, and inspire. He said, do it for your mother. I said, man, don't use my mama against me. He said, you always said you wanted to buy her home. If you make this happen, man, this will be a big deal. People around the world will see this, and it will be a deciding point in your speaking career. Do it for your mother. She's going to tell the neighbors about it. She's going to say, that's my boy. I'm so glad that I adopted them. And I said, okay. I came out and started walking toward the stage. And when I went up the steps, he looked at me and he said, you got this. I said, you believe in me, Mike? He said, yeah, you can do this. I said, thank you, man. Because I never had a father. He's just 2 years older than me. But he's like a father said to his son, you can do this. And I felt it in my heart. And I took that microphone and I went out there and I wore him out.
Look,